And just from the tips last week, we'll go over those. I've got the Adelaide Crows and Geelong tip wrong. So I tipped Adelaide to win and Geelong won. And the other one I got wrong was the Western Bulldogs and Suns game. I actually tipped the Suns to win over the Bulldogs. And the other game I got wrong was the North Melbourne versus Fremantle Dockers. I tipped North Melbourne. So yeah, three wrong for the round. Hey guys, welcome back to Play On Footy channel. Today we're doing the round 3 preview. The first game is going to be, of course, the Lions and the Magpies at the Gabba. Now this game is hotly contested. Magpies have lost 3, Lions have lost 2. I can guarantee you Lions will not want to lose 3 games. So I'm going to be tipping the Lions in this game. It's going to be a very close affair, but I just feel that the Lions coming off the bit of the bye there are going to have the fresh legs and a different sort of mindset going into this game. I'm going to be seeing that, Josh Dunkley's going to have a big game. Hopefully Lachie Neale can be freed up and really impose himself on the game, as well as Zach Bailey and Hugh McCluggage. For the Pies, I'm seeing Lipinski get up and around the ball, especially in that half-forward flank. And I'm seeing Darcy Cameron really implement himself in the ruck against the other big McInerney from the Lions. I'm tipping the Lions by 13 points this game. The last time these two teams met was in the grand final. Obviously, Magpies got away with a 4-point win, which was really thanks to the umpires, in my opinion. It's going to be a real close game, but yeah, I think 13 points, they'll come away the winners for the Lions and get Fags off to a winning start for 2024. On Friday, you got the Good Friday Appeal match with North Melbourne versus the Carlton Blues. This one is going to be a big game for both clubs. Carlton obviously coming off the bye, fresh legs, facing North Melbourne, who really want to impose themselves on the competition. They've got a budding young list that really, there's no excuses now for North. They've gone through their many years of rebuilding. They've got Alistair Clarkson back and this year because he went away for mental health reasons last year. I definitely think that Carlton will get up, but I definitely think that North Melbourne will definitely put up a fight and make it somewhat respectable. I think it's going to be still a 25-point to 30-point margin by the end of it. And I definitely see Cherry in the ruck doing really well against the Blues, De Koning as well. I think he's been really the forefront winner for the clearances for North at this stage. And the next one's Harry Sheasel for fantasy. I think he's going to have a cracking game for North. And then for Blues, I definitely think that Mackay and McKernan are going to be dangerous up forward. And then in the middle, you've got Cripps as well, who's going to be getting those clearances out if they can stop Cherry from winning him out of the centre. I actually think this game's got a lot of upside for Carlton. You know, they come up a relatively young side in North, and I think it's going to be another test for them. But I do believe Blues are obviously the stronger opponents in this one. So yeah, Blues by 26 points. Next game is Adelaide Crows versus Dockers. This one's in Perth at Optus Stadium. Last time these guys met, Adelaide won by 39 points at Adelaide Oval. I actually really think that if Dockers can fix their slow starts in the first quarter, Dockers will get up against Adelaide Crows. Reason being is that they've got a really good inside sort of mid, which is Caleb Sarong. He's doing really well at the moment. And I think that with, Crows, they've got Josh Dawson, but I just think that the depth of Fremantle and their structure with Luke Jackson in the middle will be too good for O'Brien and the Adelaide Crows, and they'll get those quick clearances out. And then you've got Jai Amos and Josh Tracy up forward for Dockers that have been working really well, as well as Matt Tapner. So anything's the sky's the limit for the Dockers. I think a player to watch in this game is going to be Hayden Young. I think he's going to really bounce back on AFL fantasy. He's had a bit of a quiet sort of couple of games, but I think he'll definitely bounce back in the front of a home crowd in Western Australia. So yeah, I'm going to go Dockers by 28 points. Next game is Essendon versus St Kilda. Last time these two teams met, Essendon Bombers got beaten by St Kilda by 19 points. This one's at Marvel. I actually think that the two teams are pretty well balanced, but I still feel that under Ross Lyons, Saints definitely have that competitive edge. Yes, they've lost Mason Wood, but they've also gained like Liam Henry, which was just superb the week before, but unfortunately he's done his hamstring, which I just remembered then. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very close game with those outs for St Kilda. I'm still going to tip them though by 8 points against the Bombers, but I know Bombers are going to be as hungry as ever to get their first win of the season under Brad Scott, especially with that Essendon edge that they showed against Sydney Swans. But I think, you know, Ross Lyon, he's been around long enough to know how to counter that and to really poise his players for a win. And I definitely think that Saints are going to be challenging top 4 this year. So yeah, I'm tipping Saints by 8 points. This next game is going to be very tight. This is Melbourne Demons versus Port Adelaide. Last time these two teams met was at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide won by 4 points. The usual suspects, you've got to understand, Gawn for Melbourne and Petrarca for Melbourne. They're the 2 AFL fantasy players that you'd want to look out for, as well as Salem. He's been pretty well. And for Port Adelaide, Zach Butters and Rosie as well. Add to that, probably Todd Marshall as well in the forward line, kicked 4 last week, so he'll be a bit of a danger player for Melbourne. I'm going for Port Adelaide only because it's a home game for them this round. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping Port by 11 points. It's going to be a tight game and not much in it, but it's going to come down to umpiring, but also, yeah, who wants the ball more. And so yeah, I'm going to go Port Adelaide to extend their unbeaten run heading into round 4. So we've got Western Bulldogs versus the Eagles. Last time these two teams met was at Marvel Stadium. Eagles actually won by 7 points. That was one of the breakout wins from last season for the Eagles. I definitely think this time around, though, the Eagles would be quite, sadly mistaken, and will probably lose by around 55 points to 60 points. I'm going to go 56, just a nice number there. But yeah, obviously usual suspects for the Doggies. You've got Treloar. You've also got Bond and Pelly in the middle. Up forward, I'm actually going to be saying to you guys, look out for Jamara Ugle-Hagan, as well as Cody Waitman as well. I think those 2 guys are going to kick a big bag of goals as well. And for the Eagles, look out for McGovern, Duggan and Yo for your AFL fantasy as well. And as well as Jaden Hunt, I think he did pretty well last week against the GWS Giants. But yeah, I tip Bulldogs to win by 56 points in this game. And we've got Richmond versus Sydney. Last time these two teams met was at the MCG, and Richmond actually won by 13 points. So yeah, this one's a big game for Richmond, having lost 3 games on the trot, and the opposite for Sydney, who have won 3 games on the trot. The usual suspects are Nan Kerr versus Flaston Hopper to watch out for your AFL fantasy. And for Sydney, you've also got Chad Warner, Papley, and you've also got Heaney as well, who's been instrumental. I think he got 234 in AFL fantasy last week against the Bombers. So definitely a play to have in your team if you don't have him already. Definitely cash in on him. But yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty instrumental game for Richmond. They're going to be fighting really hard. I mean, Liam Baker's this spirit leader for that team, as well as Noah Bolter as well, and Shai Bolton. So I think I'm going to be going for Sydney in this one by 25 points. And the final game, the Monday Easter game, the Hawks versus the Cats. Last time these two teams met was the Cats, who won by 82 points. The usual suspects for Hawks are Impey, Warple, and Ambrosio for your AFL fantasy. And for Geelong, you've got the man down back. You've got Tom Stewart. You've also got Paddy Dangerfield, and you've also got Minch Duncan. So those 3 of the Cats you'd probably want your team for your AFL fantasy. They've been doing pretty well recently as well. I think they're the 2nd oldest list in the AFL, but you wouldn't know it. I mean, the game against Adelaide last week, the Cats did really well. I really suspect that they'll do really well in this game as well against the Hawks, who unfortunately under Sam Mitchell this year haven't really shown much game plan or poise. So it'd be interesting to see what they do in this game, if they can re-establish some sort of synergy, as Adam Simpson would say, with their side. So yeah, big game for them, but I seriously feel like Geelong are going to smash them. I'm going to be tipping them to win by 65 for Geelong. As a Gold Coast Suns and GWS Giants, what do you guys think? Who's the team that you support? Comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.